moving on to our next speaker. Mitch is an executive officer of a boutique investment company, leading teams with diverse backgrounds, advertising, real estate, and hotel operations. She has 25 years of experience in general management, sales, and business development from diverse industries, including advertising, business process outsourcing, and human resource consulting. Mitch strives for organizations to have mutually respectful relationships between management and employees. She is a woman with responsibilities at work, in the community, and in her home, embracing it all with a grateful heart. Let's all join Mitch Tarroza as she talks about employee retention amidst the big quit. Streaming live from Bonifacio Global City in Taguig, Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch Tarroza.
Thank you for the intro and lovely afternoon to all of you. When I was invited here, I thought about what I can discuss. What is it that I want to impart? When the pandemic started, I began actually reading about how the sudden change of life conditions affected the workforce. I began following article after article, and I realized that I needed to check in with my colleagues. So globally, there is what they call the big quit, the great reset, or the great resignation during the pandemic. Up until last year, the US, China, India, even in Europe, they experienced large scale resignations despite shortage in labor and high employment rates. It may be a different case here in the Philippines. A lot of Filipinos, we cannot just leave our jobs. We cannot just, not work and have no fallback. We may not have felt this phenomenon here, or at least not yet, but there is still a lot of movement within organizations. Employees quit to move to another company. They leave their tenured jobs behind. Anyway, the whole great resignation situation prompted me to check in with our own employees. It may just be an online 15-30 minutes conversation, but I know that it was the only way that I could connect with them. A colleague of mine who has been with us for more than 10 years suddenly wanted lesser responsibilities and even requested to be demoted. It was, in fact, a shock to me, as she has always performed very well. When probed, she said she needed time to help her 5-year-old son from setting up the computer to prepare for online classes, tutor him with his homework, teaching him lessons, answering worksheets, and even assisting during actual online discussions. She just could not manage her time well. There was also another colleague of mine working until 11, 12, past midnight. During our one-on-one discussion, she said she gets interrupted during the day because she needed to go to do household chores. But she knows that she needs to deliver her results, so she continues her work responsibilities when she gets her quiet time in the evening, sometimes even until 2 to 3 a.m. The experience of adjusting to this work situation happens also to male employees. One even shared to me that he is expected, to do the usual weekend errands during office hours simply because he is at home. He is asked to go to the supermarket, to gas the car, or anything. As for me, I'm also just an employee, probably just with a higher role or a bigger responsibility. But I too was not spared from this huge adjustment. I am thankful for being at home with my family. In fact, I'm grateful to eat lunch with them every day, wake them up in the morning and help them get ready, which I never had the chance to do before. However, my dilemma was more of when will office hours start and when will it end? I had to create a new routine to take my mind off tasks, deliverables, deadlines. I could just not shut off. Situations were different, but the impact of COVID to all of us was the same. The impact was not exclusive to women, it cut across all gender, age. It didn't matter whether you're single or married. We all realized we were not immortals at some point. Not everyone is fortunate to have flexibility of time in the office. Most of us are bound to the normal 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 jobs. I could imagine how it was for most people not to have a dedicated workspace. All those online meetings, remote monitoring could have brought fatigue to our workforce. Balancing work and home responsibilities day in, day out. In fact, vacation leaves did not make any difference anymore. Why? Because one, you could barely leave your homes, and two, your homes became your workspaces as well. I, for example, needed to trick myself every day by dressing up in the morning, bringing my work bag to my home office just to have that mindset of starting work at 9 a.m. and ending my workday at 6 p.m. It was definitely tiring. Our situation needed change or some sort of turnaround. We realized during that time how truly important our families are. That for the past years, we were working, we spent most of our waking hours in the office. We missed perhaps personal time, and somehow we need to adjust and reorganize our lives to make personal time a priority. It's true that businesses suffered, and yet, to be honest, it was not as challenging as keeping your team involved and engaged. The sudden change in work environment, the whole work from home situation was definitely not as ideal to most. But you see, as we are allowed, right now we're already allowed to operate at full capacity. And as we are inching our way back to that new normal, somehow living our lives with COVID around, opening back our doors to our colleagues, it was a shock to me that despite all the unpleasantries of work from home, there were still those who are apprehensive to go back to the office and even opting to just leave their jobs. You see, as business leaders, we all know the importance of retaining talent within your organization. Employees quit to find more flexibility, a better pay, a company that will recognize their talents. They want a better relationship with their managers or colleagues. They want better employee benefits. These are not uniquely pandemic issues. These are issues and reasons we hear even before the pandemic. I know you will all agree that people drive the success of a company, the success of any organization, and as well as its downfall. Well, anecdotally, burnout of or work from home fatigue is a common issue when everything became remote. By recognizing possible signs, you could help alleviate them. The abrupt shift to remote work, and for many parents, where they suddenly need to become tutors to their children, it created anxiety. In the office, we usually have monthly fun Fridays, and even during the pandemic, we tried to continue that, even if it was online. But you see, I saw a gradual decline in attendance, which is quite worrisome. It could be due to a lot of factors, Zoom fatigue or whatever, but it is for me a sign of disengaging. It is a time for us to talk to our employees, possibly for counseling or have HR intervene. The lack of boundaries which I experienced may cause fatigue. We can check those who have not had a vacation or time off for a while, or those who have sent emails super late at night, or even those who are often calling in sick. Looking at these signs or signals, we can and we should act on it. We can evaluate the employee's workload, baka masyadong marami, or simply setting an example of respecting weekends and office time cutoff. We can put up a wellness program for employees if you still have not. We all care for our employees and coworkers. By recognizing their difficulties, we are able to retain those who have worked for and with us for a long time. Let us never assume everything is okay, that everyone is coping well or should cope well, only because we are able to cope. Those who are struggling may be hesitant to ask for help from their managers because they might be branded, as needy or dependent. As leaders, we need to make an extra effort to create that constant communication, ask for feedback, create that space for our subordinates where we will be able to freely speak without fear. We need to have more personal contact. Zoom meetings, not to check deadlines or give them new assignments, but just a free time to chit chat, release their frustrations, or just like those times when, in the office, when you have your break times and your chismisan times, that will create transparency and will strengthen our connection with them. Everyone needs support in some way, be it economic, mental, or even emotional. I needed emotional support from those around me. I had to ask for help too. There were days when it was so overwhelming that I felt no matter how I organized my task, it's disorganized. Ang gulo-gulo, sabay-sabay. I knew I needed a break. But a break will just make my workload pile up. But as simple as chit chat with my coworkers, where they just openly blurted out frustrations with work at home and even accepting my own defeat, and knowing that they understand and I will not be judged was somehow a relief to me. It gave me the feeling that I'm not alone, this feeling of disappointment with myself for not being able to manage everything is not only mine. And I myself felt these frustrations. If I felt these frustrations, all the more my subordinates. So, what can we do? When I was in school, I learned about the hierarchy of needs that drives motivation. It said that human beings are motivated by five essential needs. At the bottom of that pyramid is the physiological needs. These, in fact, includes a comfortable working environment, regular monthly salary that will ensure we can live by comfortably. The next level are safety needs. These are benefits, retirement plans, guaranteed paid leaves, medical or insurance coverage, security of tenure by, just having a formal contract with your employer. This needs emphasis or emphasizes on health, safety in our workplace or in the company where we are working for. It somehow gives us security and assurance that our company will take care of us. The third in that hierarchy is the fulfillment of our social needs. Managing our employees' social needs usually is done by promoting group activities, working across teams or departments, and even with different levels in the organization. However, it was not easy during the remote work. We only had to rely on Zoom. Some use MS Teams or Skype to socialize and collaborate and to simply catch up with our colleagues. Self-esteem needs comes fourth in the needs hierarchy. This is our need to be respected, feel valued, our need to be recognized and praised for a job well done. The highest level in the hierarchy is self-actualization. This takes form by having clear opportunities for promotion, training, developmental plans for our employees, providing them with new learnings that will help them take on a bigger role. I know that during the pandemic, these needs were a challenge to meet, but we can make up for it now that we're going back to the new normal. You see, employees are not machines. Well, even machines needs oiling to function well. We need to be able to see where they are in their personal lives and be able to fulfill their needs for them to perform at their best. Retaining our employees as a relationship that needs communication, understanding, and empathy. And in that way, we are reciprocated. They will do a job well done. by staying loyal and high performing. We can create flexibility and autonomy. Let our people work in ways that will work for them. Let us focus on the results rather than the how. The feeling of trust being given goes a long way to anyone. We can create a culture of growth and advancement by investing in our people. Let us inspire them to do the extra mile and help them accomplish great things. A meaningful workplace where everyone knows how each task in fact contribute to the overall vision, letting everyone know that no position or work is small